Right now at 10, girls taking part in a unique softball league got an opportunity to get a leg up on the competition in Pittsburgh today. Plus, a Kansas teen shares her story of the road to recovery following a battle with COVID. And while daily COVID infection rates are still high, the numbers are dropping.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. World-class Sports held a Master Skills Camp in Pittsburgh today. The girls ranging in age from 8 to 18 were able to come in and work with college coaches from across the region and the country. They worked through drills to show the coaches their abilities, and the camp provides an excellent opportunity for the girls to grow and learn.
So we take girls that are over the age of 8 to 18 and put them into groups by age. And we take local college coaches from all over the U.S. and put them into groups and go through infield, outfield, speed, agility, and hitting.
The camp was put on by Fast Pitch Masters, which hosts similar camps across the country. In Kansas, a high school freshman's experience being a COVID long hauler has convinced her to pursue a career in medicine. Olivia Lopez was hospitalized, unable to walk because of COVID-19 complications, but she made it through with the hopes of helping others. Emily Holwick has her story.
14-year-old Olivia Lopez is relieved to be walking the halls of her high school. Last spring, she could barely stand, suffering from complications after COVID.
When I stood up, my legs would tremor.
She was diagnosed with conversion disorder affecting the nervous system and a heart rate disorder called POTS that caused fainting spells.
I just know that when I woke up, every time I was really confused and I wasn't really sure why everyone was crowded around me.
She spent 3 months in a wheelchair and says she persisted thanks to the power of prayer.
It definitely took a lot of diligence to go through that and determination to keep fighting.
Now fully recovered, she has her sights set on a future in medicine. She was chosen as a delegate for the Congress of Future Medical Leaders, a virtual conference for high-achieving students interested in the medical field.
You get to ask them questions and watch a live surgery.
She says her experience as a COVID long hauler has made her passion burn even stronger.
I think it really sparked my interest more, making me want to help more people. It really gave me a new perspective on how people are really facing their challenges.
Now, Olivia will participate in the Congress of Future Medical Leaders in March. After her history with heart issues, she hopes to pursue a career as a cardiothoracic surgeon. And boy, it was almost shorts-like weather outside compared to the last couple of days. Nick Kelly joining us.
Not a bad way to wrap up this late January weekend, Chris. Plenty of sunshine up top today. Certainly helped the numbers out once we got past sunrise this morning. 33 degrees, cold start, but above normal for this time of the year. So same goes for the high. Instead of 45, we hit a high of 53 degrees this afternoon. Underneath, mostly clear skies. We've been sitting nice and quiet all evening long, but that allowed temperatures to drop off quite a bit. But with this frontal system working back to the northeast as we go through the overnight, that returning setup means a south breeze will trend even warmer tomorrow before this cold front just crossing the Canadian border. That's the one that's going to shake things up by the time we hit Tuesday and even Monday night for that matter. But in the short term though, tonight temperatures will warm up a bit and we'll hold steady in the mid to upper 30s throughout the overnight. Dropping starts around 36, but with partly sunny skies rotating on through tomorrow, that won't stop us from hitting 56 for a chilly start to the work week and school week, Chris. But lower numbers have to return. We'll break that down here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Fueled by Omicron, COVID is bringing some 700,000 daily new infections nationwide, but that's down significantly from record numbers during the Omicron surge. Dr. Anthony Fauci says the trend is looking hopeful, even as thousands gather in Washington, D.C. to protest vaccine mandates. CBS News correspondent Danya Bacchus reports from Los Angeles.
In the nation's capital Sunday, demonstrators gathered at the Lincoln Memorial, many voicing opposition to the COVID-19 vaccine, others protesting vaccine mandates.
Don't shackle our hands. We will not comply with your silliness.
Among the speakers, Robert Kennedy Jr., son of the late New York Senator and Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy. Sunday's rally comes as daily COVID-19 cases in parts of the Northeast are showing signs of leveling off, but some regions are still seeing rising numbers.
You're seeing cases come down very rapidly in the East Coast, the states that were the early outbreak states, Florida, the Mid-Atlantic, New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles. This virus is spreading to the Midwest. You're seeing cases pick up in states like Montana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Wyoming, Idaho. So it's not done yet.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says in the coming weeks, infection levels could get to a low enough level that COVID eventually becomes the type of respiratory infection people have learned to live with, even pre-pandemic.
Things are looking good. We don't want to get overconfident, but they look like they're going in the right direction right now.
But Fauci says the U.S. has to be prepared for the possibility another highly infectious variant could come along. Meanwhile, COVID hospitalizations jumped 30% and deaths 44% in the past 2 weeks nationwide, with the West and Midwest hit especially hard.
Every hospital is full, so trying to find a facility that has an open space with the appropriate care is difficult.
The pace of first vaccinations is slowing, with about a third of eligible Americans still not fully vaccinated and less than half are boosted. Danya Backus, CBS News.
A study showed third Pfizer or Moderna shot reduces the risk of hospitalization with Omicron by 82%. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Corporal Charles Jenny served in the Army in Korea, his hometown, Columbus. We're proud to recognize Corporal Charles Jenny, tonight's four-state hero. And as always, if you want to learn more about other heroes, or better yet, nominate one of your own, you can do that over at KOAMNewsNow.com. Coming up, Congress is taking steps to stop the market dominance of American big tech companies. Welcome back. Congress is taking steps to stop the market dominance of American big tech companies. A bipartisan bill is on its way to the Senate floor with the aim of preventing big online companies from favoring their own services over rivals. The legislation was approved by the Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday. It also could bring restrictions for Google's search engine, which hosts about 90% of the world's web searches. Lobbyists for Meta, Google, Amazon, and Apple were against this bill, saying it would harm consumers and businesses who use their services. The nation's largest auto manufacturer is hoping a new investment will spark their electric vehicle division. General Motors is set to announce a major investment into their development of EVs this week. GM is planning to spend $6.5 billion and hire 4,000 new workers for 2 plants in Michigan. State officials are set to approve an incentive package on Tuesday after it watched Ford Motor Company announce plans to build 4 new plants and factories in other states. While electric vehicles only accounted for 3% of new sales in 2021, forecasters believe that this will rise in the coming years. A shortage of school bus drivers in several states has those states turning to federal troops for help. At least 9 states are asking for National Guard help transporting their school children as worker shortages continue during the coronavirus pandemic. 5 states in the Northeast, 1 in the upper Midwest, and 3 in the Southwest have asked for the assistance. Driver shortages have forced some Maryland schools back to remote learning, while some parents are staying home to care for kids, even missing substitute teaching to help teacher shortages. The tax season starts Monday, as January 24th is the first date the IRS will accept and process tax returns. This year, parents are advised to keep a special eye out for an IRS mailing known as Letter 6419. Now, the letter pertains to 2021's Advanced Child Tax Credit, which was paid out from July through December. Families received up to $300 for each kid age 5 and $250 for children between 6 and 17. Letter 6419 will help parents accurately report the amount of money they received up front in 2021. If parents did not receive 1 or more child tax credit payments, they're encouraged to call the IRS at 800-908-4184. Later on the KOAM News at 10, Spider-Man No Way Home was knocked out of the top spot last weekend. Can it reclaim its title? The latest in our weekly check-in at the box office.
But first, we've got a chilly day lined up for tomorrow, but the winter cold is eager to return yet again. We'll break down the week ahead next. It was nice that we kept things quiet as we wrapped up this weekend, but we are thankful that we didn't see the return of Friday's cold to wrap up this weekend. We had highs finally back out of the 30s the other day. We had highs in the mid-40s, as a matter of fact, at Joplin Regional yesterday. A quick dip into the upper 20s and lower 30s at the 9 o'clock hour last night, but most of this morning was seeing temperatures ranging from the lower 30s to almost upper 30s, and then a nice rebound back to about 53 at Joplin Regional this afternoon. Thankfully, we got the 50s lined up for one more day as we stay dry as we kick off the Newark Weekend School Week for Monday. Sticking with Doug's pattern, though, we've got another winter blast of colder air ready to roll in starting Tuesday, going into the start of next weekend. Not much of an active setup, but there is a wave that I want to watch by this coming Thursday. If things can come together, maybe a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit of wind shear weather out of that. In the short term, though, you saw how quiet it looked for 7th and Range line. We kept that view nice and quiet all day, and that's what allowed temperatures to go from the upper 40s rather to the lower 50s on the Missouri side. And our corners of southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma had temperatures ranging from the lower to upper 50s throughout this afternoon. But as we saw temperatures drop off quite a bit after sunset, we were seeing temperatures holding in the mainly mid-30s. And this is primarily where we're going to continue to stay as we go through the overnight because of the surface setup that's unfolding before us. It's a surface setup that's not yielding much in the way of cloud cover. It was cloudy at Arrowhead, sure, but no rain, snow whatsoever to disrupt that game, a very important game as the Chiefs faced off against the Bills. Here's the setup that's changing at the surface. This is the front that parked right on top of the area today, but it's lifting back northeast. That's what's allowing that south wind to return to get us back into the 50s tomorrow. But this cold front I'm pointing at coming out of Canada, that's the one that's going to bring back some winter chill as we go into tomorrow night and certainly Tuesday and throughout much of this week. And the upper level setups will certainly add to the chill as well once we get this upper level low to pass to our south tomorrow. And this low coming out of Canada, that'll just make sure the jet stream stays well to the south. So what does that mean for everybody, though? Let's break it down for you. Not much to show. During the overnight, we'll just keep skies mostly clear as we hold steady in the mid and even some upper 30s for some of you as the morning drive to work and school gets underway. Despite passing cloud cover, partly to mostly sunny skies throughout the day and that passing front, we are going to see temperatures briefly bounce back into the mid-50s. So 36 in the morning, 52 by noon, and a high of 56. We see that southwest breeze to start the morning out at 5 to 15, returning more northwesterly as we go throughout the day. But that's the northwest wind behind the cold front that, even with some cloud cover coming through, look at how cold it gets for Tuesday morning, into the upper teens to near 20 degrees. And with partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies on Tuesday, I think highs around 31. That's the best that we can do. At the very least, this low passing to our south tomorrow keeps any rain chances to the south. The low coming out of Canada keeps any snow to the west, but these two lows will keep us cold throughout the middle of the week with mainly 30s for highs. But here's that wave by Thursday that I want to watch. If it can still hold together before it really gets going, it'll pick up some moisture, maybe give us a few showers late in the day Thursday, and maybe a few snow showers Thursday night. But that's really the active storm system that we have to keep an eye on, if you want to call it that, throughout the course of the week. 56 tomorrow, then we're back into the 30s on Tuesday with 31, 36 Wednesday, upper 30s through Friday. On the plus side, though, Chris, we'll be back near 50 by Saturday.
Certainly not a forecast to complain about. It could be worse. As we've experienced, it could be worse.
Yeah, even with Wednesday morning's low at 13, it sure beats the 6 we saw Friday morning.
That it does. Nick, thank you so much. Jacob Linder now joining us with sports. Big, huge night for Kansas City tonight.
It was a lot of fun, right? They got a chance to move on to the AFC Championship game facing the Bills. We'll talk about that. Plus, an NCAA record falls today in K-State's game against 14th ranked Oklahoma. We'll have that and more when we come back. Well, welcome back and welcome into the Toyota Sunday Night Sports feed. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the Final Four in the AFC playoffs. Chiefs host the Buffalo Bills tonight in the AFC divisional round, with the winner moving on to the conference championship. Kansas City looking to host the AFC Championship for the 4th consecutive season. They're down 29-26 late. Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. And the fastest dude in the league does what the fastest dude in the league does. 64 yards here. Kansas City back in front, 33-29. But wait, 17 seconds left. Josh Allen to Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis, NFL record 4 touchdowns. In the playoff game tonight, Bills lead by 3 with 13 seconds left. And that's too much time for Patrick Mahomes, I guess. Chiefs go get a field goal, and we go to overtime. This game really was an all-timer, man. In OT, first drive for Kansas City. They're in the red zone. Mahomes to Travis Kelce. That's the ball game. Chiefs win at 42-36. We're moving on to the AFC Championship. So here we go, AFC Championship game 1 week from today. The Chiefs host the Cincinnati Bengals next Sunday. Kansas City aiming for a little revenge here again. They lost to Cincy 34-31 just a few weeks ago. That game will be next Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KOAM. Moving to the NFC now, the San Francisco 49ers earned their spot in the conference championship last night, beating the Green Bay Packers 13-10. Tonight, the Rams and Buccaneers square off in Tampa Bay for a shot at hosting the Niners in the NFC title game. We're going to pick this one up in the second half. Rams already up 27-6, but you know the champs ain't going out without a fight. Late third, Leonard Fournette, 1-yard touchdown for Tampa Bay. Buccaneers within 27-13. A late fourth quarter now. Tom Brady, you know what he's about by now. Going deep to Mike Evans, 55-yard touchdown. It's just a 7-point game. Now under a minute to go, back to Leonard Fournette. Look at this. He bounces it outside, in from 9 yards out. Now, it looks like the game's going to overtime, but wait. Ensuing drive. Matt Stafford going deep. Cooper Kupp open down the middle. That gets the Rams in field goal range, and Matt Gay, he would knock it through as time expires. The Rams knock off the defending champs 30-27 to move on to the NFC Championship. So here's that NFC Championship. It'll be Rams-Niners in Los Angeles next Sunday. The early line has the Rams as a 3.5-point favorite. Kickoff will be at 5:30 p.m. on our sister station, Fox 14. Well, this week was a huge week for the Missouri Southern women's basketball team. The Lions went 2-0, picking up wins against second-ranked Fort Hays State and 14th-ranked Nebraska Kearney. Here's a look at the MIAA standings. Southern has put themselves in a pretty good position, winning 5 in a row. Just one game back of first place with 10 games to go. Now, the two teams that they've beaten, Hays and Kearney, are tied for the conference lead with matching 10-2 records in MIAA play. To Division I here, big game for K-State today against 14th-ranked Oklahoma. Early on, Ayoka Lee spins and scores off the window. Wildcats up 15-0, and Lee has 12 of those already. She scored a lot. Third quarter, Ayoka Lee, this game was all about her. Lee breaks an NCAA women's record with 61 points today. She was 23 of 30 from the field, 15 for 17 from the free throw line. Previous record, by the way, was 60 points, set back in 1987. K-State went on to win in a blowout, by the way, 94-65. Coming up after the break, high school basketball tournament week just finished up on Saturday here in the four states. We're going to take a look back at the week and hear from a few tournament champions when we come back. High school basketball tournament week finished up on Saturday. In Frontenac, the Webb City boys won the four-state Raider Classic, beating Life Prep 90-61. The Cardinals had 3 players in double figures on Saturday. Dante Washington led the way with 21. Caden Turner had 20, while Trey Rhodes flirted with a double-double, 18 points and 8 rebounds. Cole Vaden was named tournament MVP for Webb City. The Cardinals are now 12-4 overall, and they've won 7 of their last 9.
We played our first 7 games on 8 practices, and I thought we had played well over that stretch, but I think you see we're starting to get into basketball shape. We're starting to connect on shots from the perimeter, and that's something that, you know, I've been here 6 years, that slowly happens as the season goes for us, and the guys know how to play through that. You know, and we can only hope to be playing our best basketball as February starts to roll around, and I think we're getting close to that.
At the Tony Dubray Classic in Liberal, Missouri, it was Colgan against Galena in both the girls and boys championship games. Now, the Galena boys won it all, while Colgan finished it off on the girls' side. Colgan won a low-scoring game, 39-26 over Galena to claim the tournament championship. Panthers are now 10-0 on the season. Lily Brown finished with 12 points last night, but Lauren Yagmore, she was great, man. Yagmore stepped up when it counted, led the way with 19 points.
We played them earlier last week, and we played really well, and I knew they were going to do things against us. We just didn't know what, So I thought they did a great job. They made a lot of adjustments on us, and we just couldn't really get in the flow of things. But I thought the kids were really gritty tonight. Lou, our point guard, she really stepped up. I think she had the game of her career tonight, and I'm so proud of her.
At the Southeast Lancer Classic, the Columbus boys won their first Lancer Classic title in 11 years, beating College Heights 38-32. On the girls' side, Parsons kept rolling, man. Vikings beat Erie 81-43 to claim the Lancer Classic Championship, with Anaya Hinman scoring 27 points. Parsons has now won 6 straight games, and they're 8-3 overall.
We've came a long way, 3 years ago not winning a game, and these girls have really stuck with the plan and really bought into our program and, have really grown. We still have a very young team, but it's a great accomplishment for the girls and our program in general. We have a lot of balance. We have a lot of scores, and, I think we had 5 girls in double figures, and, it's hard for them to key on one particular girl when we have that much balance.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Well, the last 2 weekends featured 2 different box office champions, and the same 2 movies squared off again for this weekend's title. So which one came out on top? Well, David Daniel has the early top 5 estimates.
Our ancestors, they were terrible people.
The King's Man stayed in 5th place, taking in $1.8 million. The Western romance Redeeming Love, based on the best-selling novel, debuted 4th with $3.7 million. Sing 2 made $5.7 million for 3rd place and a domestic total of $128 million. Scream dropped nearly 60% in its sophomore weekend, falling to 2nd place with $12.4 million.
Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Spider-Man No Way Home found its way back to the top, earning $14.1 million for a domestic total of $721 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I think it's going to continue to be a back and forth between those 2 movies. So.
I actually didn't expect that. I thought it was just going to be a downward trend.
Yeah.
Been that way for a while, but I'm about to go see it again. I want to go see it again anyway, so I guess I'm not the only one.
Apparently not. So something we want to see again real quick is that 7-day forecast of yours.
Yeah, because we're going to go back into the 50s tomorrow. I think 56 for tomorrow afternoon. We stay quiet throughout much of the week. But once we hit Tuesday, that's when the string of 30s, like it or not, we'll be rolling back in.
And talk about a game for the Chiefs. My
a real back and forth.
Goodness.
Yeah, speaking of back and forth, that was just a heavyweight slugfest, man. But obviously the Chiefs come out on top. They'll host the AFC Championship game next Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll have post-game reaction from the Chiefs right here tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to it. Guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll be back here again next weekend. Thanks for making us part of your night.